Ladies, Kimber Schaefer here, Rage fans. We are talking all things Rage in the Cage 59. And I tell you, two of my favorite people sitting right next to me. I mean, I never thought that I was going to get you back in the cage, Jason Dedmon. And I mean, it's not for an MMA bout, but you know, it's the next best thing. You are no-gi grappling against this guy right here, Karl Wolfwood. I'm going to start with you because I have such fond memories of your debut facing Tegan Dooley. I have said it over and over again over the year that if I ever repeated a fight, I would want it to be that one. It was so intense, like I was sweating, and I was very new in my MMA career then as far as announcing in MMA, and you know, it was just so intense. Like I thought you guys were going to kill each other out there.
Well, I couldn't have been more honored to been somebody's debut than to be Tegan's. He's a great dude. He was a great fighter. He's gone on to do great things, and I really enjoyed that fight. So hats off to him and all that he's managed to achieve. I always wanted to come back and do it again, but I just put so much time and effort into that fight, and having a wife, 3 kids, and a very, very serious career. It just wasn't in the cards for me. So now that I own my own academy and I'm a head coach, I can do a little bit more, and no-gi grappling is just a little bit more my speed. So I was honored when I got the invite to take on the best-looking brown belt in Oklahoma. You know, I do feel like having good looks and good technique is maybe an unfair advantage, but I'm willing to stick my neck out there for it.
You know, you're giving this guy an ego right there, and I mean, if he didn't need one.
Too late. It's too late. There's always the ego already exists, and the ego comes about. It's warranted in the scene. I think Jason is being a little uncharitable to himself. He's done so much and he's come so far, especially in those days since Tegan, that this match is going to be probably the hardest thing that I've done in, well, quite some time. The man Jason is an absolute animal. I don't take these grappling matches going into them thinking that, oh, this is going to be easy, because what does that mean? I am concerned with a legacy moving forward, that I don't walk away from things. I don't turn stuff down. I don't try to steamroll tomato cans. I don't do any of the BS like that, because I am concerned with fighting and grappling with the best. And fortunately, this go-around, Kimber, I am doing exactly that. I am going with the greatest that the Yukon area has, period. And really, the Oklahoma City Metro has the best grapplers, period, the end. They produce the best MMA fighters. And I want anybody else from the tri-state, quadri-state, quintuple state, whatever, the rest of the nation, to come into this region and see if they can even hold a candle, because I don't think they can. They absolutely cannot.
What's your thoughts on what he just said?
I mean, I think he was putting it fairly mildly. I really don't think anybody could come into Oklahoma, being the state that we are, known for wrestling like we are. It's deep in our blood. That's why it is what it is. But specifically the Oklahoma City Metro, we just have something in the water that, you know, je ne sais quoi. We're just doing it a little different here. And I think he's right. I would be really interested to see if anybody could come in here and do what we do. You know, I appreciate all the accolades that Mr. Wolfwood just handed me, but I feel the same way. I don't want to take anything lightly, and I don't want to take anything that's not worthwhile. So when I found out that I had the chance to publicly cuddle somebody of his caliber, I jumped at it, because I don't want anything coming easy. I never have. And I said that before I fought Tegan. You know, I don't like that. So
I kind of love how you're playing into this whole playful side of things, because, I mean, obviously you guys both take the sport very serious, but knowing Karl here, the more playful side of jiu-jitsu definitely comes out. So, I mean, I love that you kind of going along with that.
Well, you know, I've never been one for theatrics, so I've always kind of kept myself on the straight and narrow. And, you know, Karl just brings out the truth in the matter when it comes down to these things. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, obviously he's a playful, funny guy, but he's just speaking the truth from the perspective that he sees, and I love that about him. I really do.
No. What was the walkout song you walked out to last time? Was it Hungry Eyes? Was that you?
That would be Hungry Eyes, yes.
Oh my gosh, man, all the girls in the audience, me included. I mean, who doesn't love a good Dirty Dancing song?
Well, that is why we were there, right? I would like to take this moment now to issue an apology during that match, as that evening I found out that there was a sizing difference between Chinese extra large spats and American.
From losing your drawers?
I wouldn't say I lost them. They were firmly stuck at about half buttocks region. So
This is true.
yeah. So for those gentlemen who I offended by attempting to steal your girlfriends, I would say that right now I would attempt to apologize, but I'm not sorry about it. So take her away.
Well, and I have to say, I think this is the third time within like maybe the past year that you've participated in no-gi for Rage in the Cage. So, I mean, I think you might kind of like us here at Rage.
I'm relatively fond of people, yes. But to correct, because it popped up on my... oh, hey, Mike.
This is a good-looking crew here, so I thought I'd put myself in the mix because I'm good-looking. How you guys doing?
Blessed.
Was good to see you.
Oh, Mike. And he's right there. If anybody's going to come into the shot, it should be this shot. You've been sitting here all day doing interviews with other people of far less skill and attractiveness standards, so you might as well be here for this one. What was I saying? What was I on about? Yeah, so, okay. So, actually, it wasn't no-gi, because last year, it just popped up on my timeline, was when I wrestled Wade in a gi. That's right. And then it was me and Sketchy Rob last month, and then it's now me and Mr. Dedmon. So, that's where we're at, three times in a year. Lucky you.
And how lucky you are to be third time's a charm, right?
I mean, I feel honored, blessed, really, to be the third in rotation. I've always said it's best to be last if you've got to be something. No, I've never said that. I don't know why. Back that up. Something along those lines. Something you would say. Yeah, I think that was actually something he would say, but I don't know. Hey, anyway. No, I think we're going to break out the baby oil for this one and just have a good time, really.
It's all about having fun. But, Rage fans, I really want to tell you guys right now to go onto the YouTube site for Rage in the Cage. You have got to look up the Jason Dedmon, Tegan Dooley fight. Both of these guys were fighting at 205, but you are big 205ers. I just remember feeling such power in the cage. And I was telling you, I seriously wanted a do-over, and I'm having a hard time getting past this with you sitting next to me.
Well, yeah, I think I walked around at 240, 245 at the time that I took that fight and made it to 205. That was a big reason for me not returning to the cage. The cut was a lot harder than I expected it to be, and I know that Tegan cut a lot of weight for that fight too. We were large 205ers, and I think Tegan even managed to cut way beyond that, 185 at one point, I think. But so hats off to him for that, because I couldn't even imagine. But yeah, that was a fun fight. That was fun to be in the cage with a guy like him, such a good wrestler, so strong. I'm usually really good at defending takedowns, but I had to come up off of my back several times against Tegan, and that's just not where I'm used to fighting at. Even though I'm comfortable there and I'm comfortable with jiu-jitsu, it was just a different animal of a fight. But once again, couldn't have been more honored to be somebody's debut. I think I said something along the lines right before that fight that if he beat me, it was gonna be a legitimate win for him, and if he lost, that I hope that he took it, learned from it, and got better and came back, because he knew he was a young man, and he did beat me. I feel like it was a legitimate fight, and I feel like he just kind of springboarded off of that and went on to do some really great things, become pro, and I just can't wait to see where his career goes. But yeah, I won't lie, that would be one that if I ever were to tune up for again, I'd love to have that one again, because that was just a lot of fun.
I mean, I would too. So playback, redo, but you do what you need to do for your life. Any last words? Any shout outs before we wrap it up?
Oh, we're wrapping up. Very well then.
Well, unless you have something else you want to discuss.
Indeed. And actually, if I might take it from my usual tone to something a little more serious. So Jason and I are both put in positions where we're fairly fortunate. I have a career outside of jiu-jitsu. Jason runs an incredibly successful gym. And we're in a spot with this grappling match where Jason put something out into the ether that I thought was an incredibly good idea of donating money that is related to our proceeds from this match towards charity. We Defy, right? Where Jason is going to donate what he makes off of this match, or a portion of it, to We Defy. I'm going to do it for the Oklahoma County Care Center for child abuse advocacy, and I think that's important for folks to know. Is this is something that we're going to take and use to actually benefit people, and not just ourselves. So.
I love that, and I want to touch on that real quick because our owner, who just happens to be my brother, and I were victims of child abuse, major child abuse, and so that's a very important topic to both of us as well. So I'm glad to hear that. So, and I'm glad to know a little bit about more about that charity because I hadn't heard of them.
Right. Well, and I would like to put out that it might be not enough for an interview blurb here at this point, but if you follow either of us on social media, me on Facebook at Karl Wolfwood, or on Instagram at Karl Wolfwood, and Jason, he'll fill you in on his social media. We'll be promoting this and attaching links and everything to everybody's charity event. So if you're having trouble out there in Rage in the Cage world about if you want to come watch, who to support or look at, and you don't have a fighter that you want to back, you can take a look at either of us. And if you want to throw some, a ticket our way, then some of that money will be going towards a charitable organization. Or if you'd like to contact us over social media, then we can arrange some ways to make money go in the direction that people want to go.
Fantastic. All right, let's talk to you about your charity now.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, all jokes aside, Karl and I, we both are really committed to giving back to the community, and I've committed to giving a portion, if not all, of my proceeds from the ticket sales to We Defy to help get combat veterans into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, to help with things like PTSD, and there's just, it's a great outlet for those men and women that have served our nation, and so I'm very passionate about that. And so you can follow me. I'll have all the links for ticket sales on my Facebook. It's just Jason Dedmon, or you can go and like our Conquest Martial Arts Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu page on Facebook, or Instagram. It's paterfamilias_OKC or Conquest_BJJ on Instagram. Either one of those, you'll be able to get all of the links and what we're doing and how we're doing it. That's where we're at.
I mean, I love it, and I'm just finding out about this as we're doing this interview, so I'm so excited to hear that you guys are doing such big things and using this for good and the betterment of Oklahoma. So,
well, we do what we can. Y'all at home, pop open a bottle of the bubbly and come join us on November 8th? Is that when we're doing this thing? I don't care. It doesn't really matter. I'm always ready. We're gonna go. It's gonna be fantastic.
All right, are you ready for last words and shout outs?
Oh, I reckon I should be. So, as always, I would like to thank my gym, Redline Jiu-Jitsu in Edmond. If you're not training at Redline and you live in Edmond, you should come check us out. But then again, there are plenty of great gyms, such as my opponent from last time, Robert Sorkson. He's from The Forge. You should also go check them out if you're in the Edmond area. If you live in Yukon, there's no reason why you shouldn't be training at Conquest. There's no other place to train at down there, as far as I'm concerned. Again, look at us on social media. And I will be putting out some information on t-shirts and other merchandise. So if you find something that you might like to wear that represents your ideology or your own allegiances to eldritch entities, then hopefully I'll fill that need. Please contact one of my managers, Christine Johnson or Porter, depending on what she's going by right now. She's also accessible on the internet. If you want to holler at me, I'll put you in touch with whoever you need. So I'm done now. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I mean, you're in the hot seat now. Any last words or shout outs?
Yeah, first of all, as usual, shout out to my beautiful wife and my family for tolerating everything that I do on a daily basis. Shout out to Team Conquest, Team Jean-Jacques Machado. I love you guys, and we're doing this for you. Once again, I'm just going to reiterate on what Karl said. If you're in the Canadian County area, Yukon, Mustang, Bethany, Piedmont, I don't care, El Reno, and you're looking for a place to call home, we would love for you to come out and give us a shot. Come out and try some free classes. Check us out, conquestok.com. If you are in North Oklahoma City, Edmond, Redline is a great place. Ty Gay is a really good friend of mine. I really believe in what he's doing over there and what he stands for. Mr. Wolfwood is from a great lineage. And I just really looking forward to this.
Well, I am too. Both of these guys representing such amazing gyms in the Oklahoma City metro area. We cannot wait to see you guys Friday, November 8th at the Oklahoma City Farmers Market for Rage in the Cage 69. These two guys got tickets, other fighters on the card, or of course, stubwire.com, and we will see you then.